Morning, everyone. Today I was going to talk to everyone about the COVID-19 epidemic that's been going on. Is this real, or is this something that is kind of over-exaggerated, or something that isn't as serious as people say it is? Now, with hundreds of universities closing down and thousands of schools closing around across the country, obviously something's been going wrong here. Now, a lot of people that I know, so like the younger kids, they think that, oh, this isn't something that can affect me. It's an old person disease. It's not really something that affects me. The plane ticket prices are down, so I can go travel. It's cheaper to go around. But this isn't exactly true. For those of you that might not know, coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19, was a disease that was first identified in China, and it spread throughout the world very quickly like wildfire. It started in December, so just in a couple months, it spread across the globe. The United States has now one of the highest amount of infected people. So the symptoms are very similar to the flu. This includes fever, cough, and shortness of breath. This is according to Georgia.gov, so Georgia's government. But this is something that should be taken serious by everyone. Even if you're younger and you have a better immune system, it can still affect people in your family, such as your parents or your grandparents who are older or have medical issues, people with that are a little bit diabetic, or they're overweight, or they have different body issues that can be worse for them as a respiratory disease. But there are precautions you can take for this, including washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Now, this won't completely prevent it, but this is something that would help towards the spread of it. Quarantining is very important. It spreads very easily. It's very infectious through the air. It can be transferred just by being around someone if you breathe in the same air as this person. So quarantining and staying away is something that's very important, as well as covering your cough. Make sure you put your arm or sneeze or anything inside your arm, because a cough can spread at like 200 miles per hour. And it can be spread across the entire room and infect everyone. Now, what does this affect? It really does affect old, young, boy, girl. There's no evidence that supports that a specific age group is infected more than another. Younger kids can carry it but not show symptoms, so they can still pass it on. And this also affects companies. When this started, there was the biggest crash in the stock market since the Great Depression, and that was according to MarketWatch.com. Companies that are big or small, there are certain companies that are closed down, they're not making money, they can't pay their bills, but there are also companies that are essential, and they're still going, but they're still affected as people aren't going out and working and going and buying products, and as well as unemployment. The unemployment in the United States has risen drastically since it started, so it affects families for people to pay their bills and go around and do that. So now, how can you play your part? Basically, the best thing you can do is quarantine, stay at your house, stay in your group of people, your family. Don't go out with people. It's tempting and it's hard to not be with your friends and things like that, but it really is for the best. If you do care about them, it's better to stay away from them, so you will be able to go and do things later and nothing will happen. There's no passings of anything. Also, the incubation state for coronavirus is 2 to 14 days, so you may be infectious but not show symptoms for up to 14 days. So let's say you're on your 5th day, you have the coronavirus, you wouldn't show any symptoms, you'd feel normal. You go to, let's say, a friend's house, and then you give it to them. You're still infectious up to that point, but you don't know you have it. So this can be very dangerous. Stay sanitary. Clean your hands as often and sneeze and cough into your sleeve as possible. Stay sanitary. This is according to the Colorado government for prevention. And then it may not hurt you. It affects people differently, but it may hurt someone you love. And this is obviously important because you don't want your mother or anything like that going through this, because it's not, according to people that have had it and survived from it, it's not a fun process to go through. So this kind of sums up that it really is something that's real. It's not a muse or something that is to keep us in our house, made by the government or anything like that. It's real. There's no point in waiting for it to happen to you or your family for you to start taking precautions. It should start from now, because something this big to close down thousands of schools and universities and keep companies from making money. The stock market has crashed. Obviously, it's very serious, and the quicker we can get rid of it, the quicker things can go back to normal. You won't have to quarantine. You can go out, and it'll just become another flu that you have to go get your shot every year. But this has to come first, and people have to realize that they have to do things in order to prevent it. And companies are doing precautions, and they're losing millions and millions of dollars. So every person that does their part helps with this, because with infection, if you infect 10 people, those people will infect another 10 people. So it's an exponential slope. It's not just a couple people. It's spread very easily. It's a virus. It's very real. So everyone should do their part. Take precaution. Stay at home. Wash your hands. Stay away from people. If you need to go out, make sure you have your mask. Make sure you're in and out as quick as possible if you need food. And it's very real. And make sure that you stay safe. Thank you.